Long ago and far away on the Arabian Peninsula, there existed a coniferous tree, larger than the redwood, which cried tears into the sea. It could not help but cry its pain away. Its tears fell into the ocean waves, which were salted with all the tears of humanity. And in this sea, sadness was transformed into misshapen stones that eventually washed up along the Arabian coastline underneath a low sky. From these tears came black amber, fashioned into cylindrical-shaped prayer beads by the artisans who were wise enough to know the value of emptying the heart of worry and pain in order to make room for faith and hope. They strung these beads together, and in our hands we were given a tool to use in order to let go. It was a brilliant idea. What do we do when we are betrayed and when violence is perpetrated against our spirits? What do we do when our dreams are snatched from our hands due to insolence and ignorance? Do we sharpen these hurts and betrayals, shape and polish them, and make ready for personal wars against others? Of course, it is only natural to take a stance against injustice, but the urge to always be right is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, we are right to accuse those who have hurt us when we were most vulnerable. But on the other hand, harboring pain blocks us from the ability to deepen our awareness, gain wisdom, and obtain new perspectives. How can the divine heal us if we are so busy choking on our old hurts? It was the winter of 2012. I had lost my job in Los Angeles, where I had been living for 20 years, and had to start my life over elsewhere. So I moved to OC, closer to the ocean, away from the destructive white noise in my life. When winter came and the skies darkened and the wind picked up, I put on my boots, my coat, woolly scarf, and took long, long walks along the beach to think. Being unemployed, I had plenty of time to think about things. In a sense, it was an opportunity to reevaluate. Who am I? What dreams did I have? Where are they now? Aren't I an artist? Aren't I a musician? As I walked, I struggled with old resentments, the kind of stubborn anger and unwillingness to forgive certain people which had occupied my heart for years. As I walked, I dialogued with the divine and tried hard to let go of old hurts. Loss. What do we do with loss? When I was 16, I fell in love with the world of opera. I discovered my musical voice at 13, so by the age of 16, my mother found me a private teacher we couldn't afford. My father refused the extravagance. I fought hard for my lessons until my mother somehow found a way to pay for them, despite my father's objections. I developed a 4-octave range and performed at local competitions, won several music awards. But I needed freedom from the constraints placed on me by my father, who did not believe in me. So I auditioned for the opera department at Cal State Northridge, far, far away from home. On that day, I was sick with the flu, but I auditioned. I was only 23. Afterwards, they said they would notify me. I was hopeful. But sadly, I never did hear back. I figured I just didn't make the audition. Many, many years later, my mother, an immigrant to this country from Cairo, Egypt, at the age of 18, eventually died in 2005. We were very, very close, and I'd like to think she always believed in me and my abilities. I'd like to think that she truly cared. I had no reason to think otherwise. After her passing, I went to her storage facility to empty it out. It took me weeks. I faced a heap of boxes stuffed with old pictures, letters, these memories piled high like leaves all around me. I sat in a long, empty hallway of deafening silence with the weight of her life at my feet. One day I discovered something that shocked me to the core. Folded up in a fat book of daily affirmations that she owned was a letter. I opened it. At the top of the page it read, California State University, Northridge. It was the acceptance letter I never got. I had been offered a 4-year scholarship to study opera. Suddenly my heart sank. I couldn't breathe. I stared at the lines that could have changed my entire life. Who had kept it from me? This mystery and betrayal was too much to bear, so I read it once and never looked back. You can't cull meaning out of loss. Leaves fall away in a sudden wind every day. To chase them down is futile. When something painful happens to us, where there are more questions than answers that rob our sleep, it is best sometimes to let go, if not forgive. Picking up broken pieces from the past robs us of a future. Malevolent or benevolent, intentions are like water, and the past asks, do you wish to drown or do you wish to swim? There is no solace to be found in chasing down the unknown. It is only natural to lament and cry. Yes, it is natural to cry, to resist. But it is what we do with these tears that determine the kind of path we take in our lives.